Hey everyone, so last night I saw Masters of the Universe. I just want to start out by saying that this will be from the perspective of a general audience member who really knows nothing about He-Man or Masters of the Universe lore, didn't really watch the cartoon, but was still pretty interested in the movie because it seemed like it was going to be fun. And starting off with the good, I really did like most of the action sequences, especially all of the one-on-one sequences between either He-Man and Skeletor or Duncan and like the Jaw alien guy. I think those were very effective. You could really feel the action. The camera work was creative. And in general, it did feel like a cartoon coming to life, like especially with all the color. A lot of movies nowadays, especially blockbuster movies, are afraid of color and just feel very washed out and gray. This isn't the case, which was pretty refreshing to me, honestly. The score by Daniel Pemberton, who's really working hard this year. It's like his third movie already this year, is very strong. I listened to it on the way home from the theater. It's a very good score. Nicholas Galitzine is really good in the leading role as Adam. He's really charming. He's very funny. And he just makes for a very likable protagonist in general. It's just a movie that's very unapologetic about what it is. And there are a lot of things that I can respect about that. It has some great music choices. They even needle drop The Cure, which is like one of my favorite bands of all time. So that was really fun for me in the theater. And overall, the script definitely has a lot of flaws, which I'll get into later. But the one thing it does very well is that it really makes you care about Adam and about his journey and his coming of age and him kind of embracing his empathy and rejecting the traditional ideas of masculinity and of kind of this machoism that you associate with He-Man normally. I think that was a really good theme for the movie to touch on, especially now with, the manosphere and children having all of these toxic sources of where they learned about masculinity. As far as the negative, the first thing that would concern me is just like how well this movie is going to do with general audiences. At my screening, it was pretty much all like men, and of those men, they were all probably like 35, 40 or older. So that's a tad bit concerning. And also, even with the way they approach the movie, there's just so many references to the original thing, which is great for the fans. But I'm worried if it's too clogged up with those things to the point where it's going to take somebody out of it who doesn't know anything about that world. And it kind of thrusts you into the world of Eternia and all of that stuff, which, I eventually was able to get the hang of it. It's not super complicated. But I'm just wondering if it's on that fine line between being alienating to general audiences while still being appealing to fans. I don't know if they were on that line. I guess we'll see when the box office numbers come out. But that's something I was thinking about. As far as the visuals, they honestly aren't great. They're a bit iffy. Everything that was done digitally in terms of VFX just looked honestly kind of bad. All the practical stuff was good though. And all of like everything that was done in the costume department and hair and makeup department was very well done. But just that all of the digital replacements and like, for example, the tiger CGI and stuff like that was definitely a bit hard to look at it sometimes. And there's one scene in particular that takes place in the forest where the green screen is just really rough. You can even kind of see like their outlines. And it seems like they're just standing in front of a picture. So that part was rough. And I think as far as the humor, it kind of has like Marvel syndrome, not prime Marvel syndrome, but like Marvel Now syndrome, where it's just it's a high volume of jokes and not all of them work. And when they do, but it just, the jokes are at a very high volume and kind of every moment, every beat in the movie is undercut with some sort of quip or some humor. And most of those didn't work for me. But the situational humor is what worked for me most in this movie, as opposed to like the quips. And it's definitely formulaic. I'm not going to beat on the script too much because it is a Masters of the Universe movie. Like, I didn't expect some stellar screenplay to be crafted for me. Like, I'm not going to harp on the script too much, but it definitely was formulaic, and it was a bit long at I think 2 hours and 25 minutes. There's really no need for it to be at that length, and you could feel the pacing sort of drag and the third act, and it just kind of had the exact same plot beats as Thor 1 and Thor 3 kind of combined into one. If you go into it thinking about that, you'll literally end up feeling like you're watching the Thor movies like on a speed run. So it does take a lot of beats from that, but those movies also take a lot of tropes from fantasy media in general, so maybe it's not this movie's fault particularly. So yeah, it was a fun experience. Once again, this is a very unapologetic movie. I think it seems as if you're a huge fan of the franchise, you'll probably love this. It seems like there is a lot to love. But as far as a general audience member, without that nostalgia factor, I don't know if it did enough to grab me and make me a new fan of the franchise necessarily. And I think that is in large part due to its script issues and really shaky visuals. So I could see a fan giving this, an 8, 8.5. But I came out of the movie thinking it was about a 6.5 out of 10. And that's it for the review. Just wanted to keep it brief. Let me know what you thought of Masters of the Universe in the comments down below and of my review. Like and subscribe for more film reviews, film analysis, video essays, and more. And yep, have a great weekend. Go to the movies, have fun. I'll see you guys next time.